everybody. Welcome to my weekly live chat. It is Thursday in East Texas, 5 p.m. Central Time. How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing great. It is hot. It is humid. I am already sweating through everything I got on today, but I am enjoying the beauty of being out in the garden, even if it's pretty warm. Hey everybody. All right, so can you see me? First of all, before I get started, can you see me and can you hear me properly? I try to go live here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Time. If it's fuzzy or if the sound is muffled, please let me know so I can adjust if I have to. Last time I was live, I did it in the morning time, which is much easier for me to do it on a Saturday morning than in the evening time. So I may be missing some of your comments, by the way. So if you're here and you're joining me, comment, let me know that you're here. Hey Kay, there you are. You're here joining us. So today is, hey Jenny, today is a Q&A. I like to share questions. Hey Pam, I like to share questions that people have asked this week and then some of the answers. Jackie Jax is joining me and David at Patriots Rabbitry. Thanks for joining me as well. So one of the comments was specifically about full sun. What is full sun? Let's see. Caitlin, you are local to me and you can hear and see me. Well, I'm glad to hear that as well. We've got a lot of new varieties that I posted this year for 2025. I've got a couple new items that I just posted. The sleeves in different fun colors, and then I've got some solid colors coming next week. I have a garden apron that's showing up tomorrow. Hey Michelle, thanks for joining me. June in the garden was a question. Full sun was a question, so I'm going to discuss some of those today. Patriot Rabbitry says, if full sun means part shade in Florida. Yes, so that is a great question. First of all, June in the garden, let's start with that one. It is heating up here in East Texas. Hey Krista, thanks for joining us. We are still planting. I have pulled up my carrots that I'm eating. I have a couple here that I'm leaving for seeds. I have pulled up all my radish because they have bolted. It is too hot. It is 80 something degrees. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but I can tell you that I'm literally sweating through everything I have on. And having my hair down doesn't help either, but whatever. It is what it is. Today was kind of a weird day for me. I worked really early in the morning, late into lunchtime really, and then I fell asleep. I sat down to take a break for 5 minutes and I fell asleep, and it was so weird because I've been running and my body was like, that's it, no more. And if you know me, well, most of you don't know me personally, I don't take naps. So my husband was like, are you okay? Hey Bakley, thanks for joining me. Hey Asia Joe and Chelsea. Maybe my body was just like, okay, you're gonna need to prepare yourself for being outside sweating through everything you have on. So here I am. Carrots and radishes have been pulled up. We made room for planting pumpkins, melons, transplanting a couple more tomatoes, transplanting a couple more of the peppers that I had. We're planting eggplants, summer squash, winter squash, okra. So some of these varieties are what we are planting right now from seed specifically. Zinnias. Can you see these gorgeous zinnias behind me? You've got Genevieve's basil here. You've got Jackie Jack says naps are amazing. Unless I'm sick, I don't usually take a nap. So I was surprised that I fell asleep. I've got some beautiful tomatoes coming in, or I'm not, sorry, these are peppers. Takanatsume, I think, peppers. I've got some squash hidden behind there and some amazing zinnias. I am so excited about this raised bed here. So sometimes it's nice to not plant all vegetables. Sometimes it's nice to leave some space for the herbs and for the flowers because you need the beneficial pollinators for those. So it doesn't matter if you only have a small space or if you have a large space. By the way, I'm sitting, actually not standing, in my partial sun, full garden, full sun space that I did a live video in before. So let me show you really quick. I'm going to talk about what full sun means. So I'm gonna pick this up here, and I've got one raised bed there, and it goes all the way through here. I'm not even gonna worry about the mess that is here because it is gorgeous. That's my bag, just in case I got some craziness going on. And then my raised beds keep going. And then behind me there's 2 more rows of raised beds here. And you've got all sorts of stuff. Laughing Gardens, thanks for joining us. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you join me regularly, welcome back. If you want, you can check out one of my live videos where I did a partial, was it full sun, partial shade gardens. And I discussed specific varieties that do well, or specific crops that do well in full sun versus partial shade. So it is 5 o'clock right now in East Texas, and this garden space is in the shade. I cleared this area specifically because I knew that I wanted, Krista says hot mess, that is gorgeous. It is. I really enjoy it. And when I say hot mess, you know, there's nothing in my garden space that is prim and proper and full rows and what someone might say is like magazine worthy, but it is so much production out of my garden right now. I just harvested a bunch of Matt's wild cherry tomatoes. This is probably the earliest. Hot mess is a sexy thing. Hey Natasha, thanks for joining me. Yes, thanks for a good laugh. So I love that my garden space is messy, and there's a reason I have a Facebook page called Mostly Feral Gardeners, because I am probably totally feral sometimes. Hey, Nancy, thanks for joining me as well. So, so one of the things that I wanted to share with you today, I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes. I forgot to spray, and my husband's gonna go when I get back in the house, and I'm having to treat all my wounds. One of the questions, hang on, I might have to move. Never mind. I got a sprayer that comes on, and I totally forgot around 5 o'clock, and I thought it was going to spray me. Try to be fast on my reflexes. All right, so one of the questions was asked was, what can you plant in full sun? And I wanted to address what is full sun. Now, full sun generally means 6 to 8 hours of sun. It doesn't mean sun up to sundown full sun. I do have one garden space that is full sun, and I only ever plant things in that area that can thrive. I know. You guys are so fun. Thanks for watching me. I don't think I've moved that fast out in my garden since the wild dogs came through, and I wasn't sure if they were going to eat me or not. Anyway, the sprayer is going that way. I grabbed my camera as fast as I could just in case. I don't want to get sprayed. I've been sprayed out here before. It's not fun. So anyway, so full sun doesn't necessarily mean 12 hours of full sun. You need 6 to 8 hours. That's it. It doesn't have to be 12 hours. And in some places where it gets even hotter, East Texas is one of them, or David said Florida is another one. It's partial shade in the hottest parts of the day sometimes. So you really want to adapt and adjust what you think full sun is. Because, Jackie Jacks. So I wouldn't say they were wild dogs, but they were neighborhood dogs, and I'm not familiar with them. And I do know that recently there was a lady that was taken to the emergency room after being attacked by a couple dogs. In our area, unfortunately, people tend to, not so nice people, tend to dump dogs. They dump cats. We're currently feeding one that is really injured. I wouldn't say he's injured. He needs our help, and so we're feeding him. Dogs are another story, though. When I hear them coming, I went running into the house, and my husband went running out the door because he watches my live videos just in case something happens. Anyway, so totally sidetracked. You found that Vicks Vapor Rub removes the itch. Ooh, I'm going to have to try that because I think my husband has some Vicks that he uses for when he can't breathe. So I will definitely try that. I'm excited for the area we're designing for the garden. The trees in the connecting yard have grown and will provide shade. Oh, that's really good. All right, so I'm going to probably share my before and after for this garden space. This garden space was completely overgrown brush. And I had a friend of mine who has a tractor, and he came out here and cleared this whole area for me so that I could put raised beds in. I put the raised beds in, and then he brought his tractor over and he dumped soil in the first row of raised beds, which was fun, but then I had to do the rest of it by myself with a wheelbarrow, and that was not so fun. So this garden space is one of the newer spaces that I have in my garden. The way I planned it was specifically so that I could plant the varieties that need mostly shade or on the back side where the big trees are, and then the front side here has full sun for a longer parts of the day. I love that it is overgrown. I love that it is wooded. The entire back side of this is just full on super tall, I think, oak trees. I'm not a tree person. My uncle is a tree person. But it is a beautiful space to come and sit and enjoy when the mosquitoes aren't eating me alive. So there's a plus. So anyway, so a couple of questions that people were asking this week. When I do my Q&As, it's usually like, what were customers asking me, or what were random people asking me this week that I needed to answer, and maybe you would enjoy the information as well. So if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I have a seed sale going on right now through, I believe, the 13th. I have a seed giveaway going on through the 8th or the 9th. So it's a very short giveaway this month. So definitely get in there. Enter the giveaway as quickly as possible. Grab some garlic and rub it on you. I think, yeah, mosquitoes love me. My husband always laughs because as long as we're together, he doesn't get mosquito bites because I always get mosquito bites. I'm going to have to go in the house and completely doctor my arms after I'm done. That's okay. So what am I planting right now? Asia says, I've started to fill in your recipe book. If you haven't seen it on her website, oh, thank you. Yes. So in the supply section, I think there is a recipe logbook where you can log all your recipes. So I just did a no recipe. You're like, what is that? Literally, it is like 2 handfuls of green beans with the ends chopped off, 1 clove of garlic, totally crushed, and 3 or 4 strips of bacon. Depends on how much you like your bacon. Doc loves his bacon. He's more of a pork fan and I'm more of a beef fan. So I chopped up the bacon, cooked it up real fast, threw in the green beans and the olives, or not the olive oil, but the garlic, cooked it up real fast, and it was a hit. Doc ate an entire plate of it, so that was a really good one. And it's a no recipe because I don't use specifics. It was literally 2 handfuls of green beans. Just wash them, chop them if you like them smaller, and toss them in the plate. Chopped onion is a great addition to it as well. I will definitely add a couple more variations to it, so all kinds of things you can do. So what am I planting right now in June? That was a question that I had. So we are in East Texas. It is hot. It is 80 degrees. It is humid. It is buggy. As you can see, I already have bug bites on me. I am planting direct sowing seeds right now. I am direct sowing faster maturing. Hey Joe, thanks for joining me. Faster maturing tomatoes like the Tiny Tim tomato and the Czech Bush tomato. I am direct sowing all the beans, like any bean that I want to plant, I'm direct sowing. I'm direct sowing okra, zinnia, watermelon, pumpkins, any kind of melon, corn, cucumbers, summer squash. I'm pulling up old summer squash and planting something in that space, and then putting summer squash in a new one, so I'm rotating my crops. I transplanted some of my tomatoes. I transplanted some of my peppers, just a couple because I didn't have much left, but those were what I did do. I pulled out the first round of beans because they were bush beans and they were done. And then I planted another round of beans in another spot. So I'm succession planting, so I've got a regular supply of beans. I love green beans. We looked up the nutritional value of it. My husband was pleasantly surprised that there was so much good stuff in green beans. Because he's like, are these actually good for you, or is this just like a filler, like to take up space? Krista says, I'm excited. I thought I'd lost out on the Tiny Tims. No, you've got time to plant Tiny Tims. I know where you're located, so you've got plenty of times. How do you know when the green beans are at the end of their cycle? All right, so here's the thing with beans. Bush beans typically put out most of their beans in the first 2 to 3 weeks of harvest time. And then after that, they start to slow down on their harvesting. If I want to get the most out of my garden space, I typically harvest for 3 weeks and then I pull them out. I take all that bean material and I put it in my compost and I plant something else in its space. Now, pole beans can produce for months at a time before you pull them up. So bush beans I like because it's a fast maturing crop. You're looking at 55 to 60 days and then 3 weeks of harvest and boom, you're done, on to the next one. Whereas pole beans are typically a 70, 80, 90 day and you're harvesting for about 3 months. So it depends on which bean you plant. Someone asked me what's the difference between the white bean seeds and the red bean seeds. And actually the picture was a purple bean seeds. And that was the Provider bush bean seeds are actually purple, which is kind of fun. And honestly, the difference is it's a different variety. The Contender is a buff bean. It's like a brownish mauve color, like a cream color. Provider, like I said, is purple. Blue Lake bush bean and Blue Lake pole is a white bean. But the pod itself is green. So it really just depends on what bean you're talking about. Dragon tongue is a fun mottled color and the actual bean pod is mottled color. So it really just depends on what you're talking about. All beans are fascinating to me. I love the different colors of the beans and then the actual pods of the beans. Patriots Rabbitry says, I love bush beans because of canning and freeze drying. Yeah. So that's the thing. If you're canning, you want all the beans at once so that you can can everything and be done versus having to store those beans somewhere and have to figure out what to do at a later time. And that's why I like succession planting of bush beans. Yes, they may take up slightly more space, but you can harvest them pretty fast. Natasha says, I've been harvesting bush beans the last few days. Not sure if they're ready, but they taste. So the one cool thing about bush beans is you can start harvesting when they're really young and you really want to harvest. Like I say, harvest as much as possible, as often as possible, because the more you harvest, the faster they will come in. So if you like to do that, I highly recommend it. I love bush beans. I really do. I'm looking at down the driveway right there at the cat. I have to check him out later on. I think somebody scratched him or somebody attacked him. I'm not sure. I got to check on him. Cats, I swear. He won't let me get near him, but at least I can figure it out. It's great for the ADHD. Yeah, it's good. I'm looking at all this awesomeness and really excited about all the things I can produce. Like I said, I just started harvesting. I got green stuffer tomatoes that I started harvesting already. I mean, it's only June 5th. This is probably one of the earliest I've started harvesting tomatoes here in East Texas. We have green stuffer tomatoes I harvested. We have garden peach tomatoes harvested. We have, I'm looking at this one here, Stupichka tomatoes I started harvesting. Matt's wild cherry I started harvesting. A orange currant tomato I started harvesting. So there's a lot we're already harvesting. There's a ton of squash that we've been harvesting. It's a crazy time right now. It has been, I feel like it's been wetter than normal. We've had a lot of rain lately, but I'm not complaining because it means I don't have to water my garden as much. It does mean I have to watch my nutrients a little better though, because I don't want to have like, I already had to treat one of my beds for blossom end rot. I just did some calcium magnesium in a water soluble option we have at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. So it just means I gotta wash my nutrients a little better. Let's see. Krista says, what is a good melon and watermelon to plant right now? Moon and Stars, hands down, is my favorite. If you're looking for a faster option, I did have that question recently. What's a faster maturing option? And like Minnesota Midget is a really good one. It's faster maturing. I think the Chardonnay is one. I would have to look it up. I probably butchered that one. Sorry, Inga. Your aromas have been green forever. You can actually pull those if you want to pull one or two of them and put them on the kitchen counter, and they will ripen a little faster sometimes. I get really impatient and I want to harvest right now. So there's plenty that I've harvested early and just set on the kitchen counter. I'm about to go in the house right now and eat those garden peach tomatoes. I want to try them and see how they taste. This is my first time growing them. They actually are fuzzy. Kind of weird, right? It's a tomato and it's fuzzy, like a dang peach. Anyway, that's like the most exciting option for me this year is the garden peach tomato. Well, I take the back. The green stuffer, it looks like a bell pepper. The shape of it looks like a bell pepper, only it's striped. So I'm really excited about that. Yep. Yeah, Joe, I'm terribly impatient too. I pull them early because I want to get a taste of them right away. We've already been harvesting tomatoes and eating fresh tomatoes in the last couple days just because I harvested them earlier and just set them on the kitchen counter and just have to keep the tiny terrors away from them. All right, everybody. So those are my questions today for my Q&A. I answered some of the questions that were emailed to me or private message on Facebook to me. As you can see, I'm itching like crazy. The mosquitoes have found me in the garden. So I'm going to be done for the evening. If you have additional questions, you can always send an email at mary@marysheirloomseeds.com. Check out my Mostly Feral Gardening group. What veggies, if any, do you refrigerate? Tomatoes, do not refrigerate them if they are not ripe. They will not ripen in the refrigerator. Watermelon does not ripen after you've pulled it off the vine, so make sure it's good. Green beans, I put in the refrigerator immediately because they don't store on the counter. Melons, I put in a refrigerator immediately. I don't store them on the counter. Tomatoes are really easy. Zucchini, you can leave out on the counter for a week or two. Winter squash you can let store for months sometimes. So it just depends. Check out my different options right now. Number one, check out the seed sale. Go to marysheirloomseeds.com, click Mary's blog, and the first thing is my seed sale. It is a short seed sale. I believe it ends on the 13th. Get in on that. There's a lot of great items there, anywhere from $1 to $2 seed sale. So it's a great way to stock up on seeds you might want to use now or even later. Or check out my seed giveaway. No purchase necessary. You can enter as long as you are in the US or Canada. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. In the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my comprehensive planting guide. You'll also find a link to all of the different social medias that I have, and then you'll also find a link to sign up for my emails. My emails have a lot of great information in them, and I don't sell your information. So if you sign up for my email, the only emails you will get are from Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I do not sell your information because honestly, it really annoys me when other companies sell my information, so I would never do that to you guys. Alrighty, so that is it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and try not to itch my skin off. I am Mary at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, signing off, and happy planting, everybody.